Hello friends, welcome to Cinema Recaps. Today we will be talking about a Bollywood movie called Shani. This movie is based on the havoc caused by a tigress in a village killing the villagers and how they find a solution to this problem. Movie starts with a scene where we see forest officers fitting camera on a tree so that it can capture any movement in the area and also document different animals living in the forest. Next we see Vidya Vincent arrive at the scene. She is the new boss of the forest department, and she asks her junior why are the watering holes dry. He informs her that the contract is given to the brother-in-law of the local NLA Singh, who doesn't do any work and also doesn't listen to them, but maybe he might end up listening to her should she speak to him. They are interrupted by a bear, but they shoo him away. While walking back to their cars, but Junior mentions that the earlier boss was strict and kept everyone in line. She asks her junior what happens if the water hole is left dry, but he has no answer. She then tells her to order Manish, the contractor, to report to her office the next day. Manish reaches her office as ordered. She issues him notice for not performing his duties properly. He requests her to let it slide. Bansal, who is Vidya's boss, reaches her office, and because Manish is politician's relative, he doesn't tell him anything, entertains him, and walks him out of her office. She senses that it's a corrupt department and that there's no point working there. At home, she is on a video call with her husband and informs him that she's going to quit, but her husband suggests her to not do so because even his job isn't going too well. Next day, while she is on her way to her office, she gets a call where she is informed that a wild animal has been spotted in one of the farms in a nearby village. Her driver suggests that it's got to be a tiger because the farms are in the middle of the forest. He informs her that when tigers want to go from one side of the forest to another, they need to cross the farm. On reaching the farm, she discovers that it was indeed a tiger. Nearby villagers often got their cattle to the jungle for grazing. The tiger had attacked and killed one of the buffaloes who was grazing in the forest. One of the female officers says that this tiger that's attacked is not one of the tigers they know of. It's a new wild cat in the area. Another officer tells the villagers to not get their cattle in the forest for a week, but they get mad and say that they have no other option. Vidya explains to them why it is important. Hesitant at first, the villagers eventually agree. In a meeting at the forest department, Vidya tells Bansal that if they want to identify the tiger, they need to conduct DNA sampling. She says they will need to call an outside expert, but then one man from her team gets up who says he can conduct DNA sampling as he has taken its workshop earlier. His name is Hassan, and he's a professor of geology in a nearby college. Bansal gives him the permission to go ahead with the DNA sampling. Next, we see Hassan conducting a play in the village where he's showing the villagers how to be careful in case they spot a tiger. He then invites Vidya to speak on the subject. Just as she is about to speak, the local politician reaches there. Bansal takes the mic from Vidya and goes towards the politician and gives him the mic. Local elections are around the corner, and to use this tiger situation to his advantage, he announces that all villagers will get cattle food for free. He also ensures to help the farmers with fencing their farm borders with barbed wires. Next day, we see that the tiger has killed one man in the jungle and now the entire village is terrified. The officer informs that the villagers aren't letting them get close to the dead body, and the one leading these protests is the ex-politician of the village. He tells them until the politician in charge and the head of the forest department, Bansal, don't arrive at the scene, he won't let the other officers do any work. Vidya reaches the scene in the meantime, tells him to let the officers do their job and that obstructing the officers from working is against the law. He then tells her that she doesn't need to teach him law. He respects women and she is like a sister to him, but his problem is with the current politician who reaches places where he's not required but won't show up when a man has died and instead sent a lady officer to do the job. Vidya tells him that if the body is not attended, it will rot. She requests him to trust her and that they will do everything that needs to be done. He is convinced, and he orders his men to stop the interruption and let the officers do their work. Hassan goes and collects DNA sample, while other officers go about collecting all evidences related to the tiger. They also set up a trap cage to nab the tiger. Next, we see that the ex-MLA is in Bansal's office and he has got along with him, two expert hunters. He asks for permission to kill the tiger, but Bansal does not give him the permission to do so. Vidya goes to the victim's house and there, she urges the villagers to be careful. One of the cops there asks the villagers that when everyone was aware there is a killer tiger on the loose, why did the victim go to the jungle in the first place? So this woman from the village tells him that he had no other option. His cattle needed food, he could not send him to nearby area because they have been converted into farmlands. All the other villagers agree with the woman. The camera placed in the jungle captures the killer tiger and she is identified as T12. Everyone is talking about what they can do to get rid of this tiger, but no one is able to give a good solution. Bansal suggests appointing a monitoring committee. Meanwhile, they catch an animal in the trap, but it's not the tiger. They figure that the tiger is very smart. She circled the trap all night, but didn't set foot into it. The forest officers now start tracking the footsteps of the tiger so that they get an idea of where she goes after hunting. They get a call informing that the tiger has been spotted in a sugarcane farm and they all rush to catch the tiger. She keeps an eye on the tiger so that when she is in range, she can shoot her with a dart and render her unconscious. In the meantime, the politician arrives with cars full of men to kill the tiger. The tiger runs away and her plan to catch the tiger fails because of the politician. Next day, she goes to survey the land parcel which was converted into farmland. There she meets an old hunter who tells her that if she wants to catch the tiger, she should use his expertise and get his help. She declines his proposal as she is well aware that he wants to kill the tiger so that he can add one more to his record of killing the tigers. Next day, at an event organized by the forest department, Vidya runs into her superior, who she has learnt a lot from in the past. She is at one of his lectures when she gets a call and is informed that the tiger has killed another man. At the village, we see the ex-politician is provocating the villagers. He says that the current minister and the head of the forest department have a deal and they don't care if the villagers die. When the forest officers reach the village, the angry villagers attack them and burn their car. This tiger problem, due to the local elections, had become a political issue. The ex-MLA barges into Bansal's office with goons. Bansal gets scared and runs away and hides, but he is caught. The ex-MLA then threatens him. Scared, Bansal issues an order to catch the tiger dead or alive. The entire forest department sets up tent in the forest and start their investigation. The old hunter is also a part of the team now, but he is not getting along with Vidya. He is scheming on his own to kill the tiger. They are aware that the tiger will go through the village at night, so they go to warn the villagers. The head of the village alleges that the forest department doesn't want the villagers to go to their fields and work, and hence is trying to scare them. He asks the forest officers to leave. Next day, the old hunter spots a tiger and he takes his aim. The forest officer stops him, saying that it's not the T12 tiger they are looking for. Old hunter stops but gets mad at the officer because his goal is not to capture T12 but to increase his record of killing tigers. We then see that both the politicians have made the tiger problem into a full-blown political campaign. The old hunter is with the current MLA, who promises the villagers that he will kill the tiger and solve the villagers' problem. On the other hand, the ex-MLA puts all the blame on the present MLA and presents himself as the man who actually cares about the villagers. The matter of fact was that they both didn't care about villagers or the tiger. They were just playing politics. We see that Vidya has given tailoring work to the people of the village and she requests them to use their skill to get some work sitting in the village and not go outside. Forest Department gets to know that the tiger has 2 cubs who she is moving around with. The old hunter suggests that they kill all the 3 animals. Vidya and Hassan don't agree with this suggestion and they all start arguing. She then approaches her senior and uses his connections to get the old hunter out of their team. She is surprised by her husband, his mom, and her mom. They all pay her a visit and surprise her. She then gets to know that the tiger is walking towards the national park with her cubs, but she will need to cross a copper mine on her way, and May highways are connected to that route. This will make it difficult for the tiger to cross over the jungle. Vidya, along with her family, is having dinner at Hassan's place where she gets another call saying that one more person has been killed. On examining the body, Hassan informs her that killer is not the tiger but it's a bear. But the villagers were not ready to listen as they were under the influence of the ex-minister's provocation. The current minister reaches the scene and there is an altercation between both the politicians. A bigger minister comes to the village the next day and appoints the old hunter and Vidya's senior as the people in charge to take out the tiger. Vidya tries to tell them that the latest killing was doing of a bear, but no one is ready to listen to her. They get an information that the tiger has been spotted with her cubs trying to cross the highway. They try to catch the tiger, but she is nowhere to be found. Vidya's senior orders to carry out the operation the next day. Everyone are going back when two men on a bike intercept the old hunter. They inform him that they saw the killer tiger just half an hour back. The old hunter tells the men on the bike to not share this information with anyone else. He reaches the spot and spreads the male tiger's litter in that area so that the killer tiger is attracted to it and comes there in search of the male tiger, and the old hunter can use it as bait to kill her. The tiger comes and the old hunter kills her. He then asks the officer accompanying him to shoot her with the dart so that they can make it look like the tiger attacked after hitting her with the dart, and hence they had to kill her. Next morning, Vidya and Hassan find the body of the dead tiger. Hassan finds out that she was killed first and then shot with the dart. Vidya goes and informs her senior about the misdeed, but he asks her to keep her mouth shut. She figures out that her senior is in the same team as the old hunter and the politician and calls him pathetic and leaves. The minister and the hunter are celebrating. Vidya makes up her mind to leave this job and prepares her resignation letter. But she is still confused. She wants to change the system, but she's helpless. She is thinking about all of this sitting next to the copper mine when she gets a call and then immediately leaves in her car. She tears the resignation letter. She is then greeted by the woman who she earlier met in the village. She takes her to a place where the two cubs of the killer tiger are spotted. Vidya is very happy to see them. Next scene, we see a new officer who has replaced Vidya ask his junior officer the same set of questions, to which they give the same answers they gave her. Vidya is shown to be working at a museum where she has a new set of challenges and she gets ready to solve them. This is